Hantavirus patient 0 found. Look, I don't really know much. I just know it's the Hantavirus. I don't know what you mean by patient 0. But anyways, without further ado, let's just get straight to it. Obviously, credits and a shout out goes to Mori. And yeah, before we begin, make sure you guys like and sub, because I'm gonna be uploading like this every single day. And let's just get straight to it. Off the bat, he's reacting to another guy, the horrors of Hantavirus. I'm gonna get bullied. So everyone, please let it slide this time.
The horrors of Hantavirus. Let's do it.
Jake Rosemarin, a travel influencer from Boston who...
And this was the guy, by the way, I don't know if you guys remember, the guy who originally went viral for saying that essentially people are dying and he's scared. And, you know, he was one of the guys from the cruise ship who I guess where the patient 0 was at, where the breakout originally started. Now I know what you mean. His name was Jake Rosemarin, it seems.
Boasts more than 44,000 Instagram followers, shares a tearful video.
Here's that video.
I normally wouldn't make a video like this, but I feel like I need to say something, so I wrote a few things down. I am currently on board the MV Hantavirus, and what's happening right now is very real for all of us here.
By the way, people were originally making fun of this guy for crying. Like, they were saying, grown man crying. I mean, good God, if you were a grown man, anybody for that matter, on a ship with a pretty much novel virus spreading from human to human, you probably would be scared shitless too, let's be honest here.
Yeah, it's true. Not just any virus, a virus that can kill you. 40% chance of death. So fair enough to him. Grown ass man crying for a good reason. So come on.
Not just headlines.
And when I mean novel, I mean this is in the way that the Hantavirus, there are strains that of course you can track from rats, but it typically stays within that range. It typically doesn't, you know, spread from human to human contact in the way that it is right now.
We're people with families, with lives, with people waiting for us at home. There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's the hardest part. All we want right now is to feel safe, to have clarity, and to get home. So if you're seeing coverage about this, just remember that there are real people behind it, and that this isn't something happening somewhere far away. It's happening to us right now. I'll share more when I can, but for now, I just ask for your kindness and understanding.
Now, I gotta say, I think because we are so detached from a lot of atrocities happening in the world, it just seems so foreign to us. A lot of people can't either show compassion or empathy or, you know, feel what this guy's feeling, because most people quite literally lack the ability to put themselves in other people's shoes. But I certainly can, and I know if I were on that ship, I would be scared shitless. I probably, you know, wouldn't make the video in this particular manner. I probably wouldn't be as emotional, but you could probably see the fear on my face. If I felt like I was gonna die and this was my last video, you damn better be sure I would be scared shitless. I would definitely be frightened.
Within the next 24 hours, Jake's video would go extremely viral.
Yes.
And it was during this time where I gained more context as to what was exactly happening in this disturbing footage. Jake was trapped on a cruise ship. He wasn't allowed to leave.
The Hantavirus.
The ship itself was banned from docking entirely.
Right.
Meanwhile, people on the ship were dying.
By the way, they were banned from porting, I believe, in Argentina, because Argentinians and the government and I believe other ports around that area knew that these people were infected with some type of novel transmission. And I believe Hantavirus was already bad down there with all the rat to human trans.
I want to know, how did it all start from rats? Were there rats on this cruise ship and that's what caused the Hantavirus? Like, did you guys eat rats? Rat shit? What the fuck did you guys do? And anyways, just a quick thing. How did you guys leave again? Like, when and how? Like, you couldn't nuke the ship? You know what I'm saying?
Transmission, and of course,
like, obviously chat is not worth losing lives. I know nuking the ship ain't the best idea, but at the end of the day, we gotta do what must to make the world you know, a better place and survive, you know.
Novel type virus or adjacent thereof. People are going to be incredibly scared. Nobody, and by the way, 40 to 50% mortality rate, a lot of people are not going to take the chance.
Jake was seemingly next.
Hopefully this guy's still alive.
A cruise ship carrying approximately 150 passengers
Tell me that you're
has
alive.
just departed from Argentina. Its destination is in the Netherlands. As the ship begins making its way across the Atlantic Ocean, the passengers inside settle into their temporary homes. Among them is Dutch ornithologist Leo Schilperode.
Now, of course, I have to pause this video for fair use. Of course, I can't just let the video run, but this is the guy that I believe was patient 0. And based off of what I was able to gather a few weeks ago. This guy was a wildlife photographer, and for some reason, he decided to go to a garbage dump to photograph some birds that were at this garbage fill. And that's apparently where he caught the Hantavirus, this new strain or adjacent strain that has now been able to transfer from human to human. Now, as to why he went to this garbage fill, no idea. Patient Zero doing this, incredibly dumb, but I'm sure more details will come out in this video here.
His wife.
And that's why the world is turning into a shit place because of dumbasses. Yo, let me go to this garbage dump and take photos. Why? Just why, gang? You're here. Have fun. Enjoy. Get the fuck out of every place you want to go to a garbage dump. Like, come on.
Unfortunately, these two won't live long enough to see the Netherlands.
Yeah. Okay.
It isn't entirely.
So that was the guy who died that I talked about earlier in my previous Hantavirus videos.
R.I.P.
He died first, infected his
R.I.P.
wife, then she died at a hospital.
Hardly evident at first, but something very bad is about to happen on the MV Hondius. Not even a week into the trip, Leo begins telling his wife that he doesn't feel well.
Right.
On top of stomach pain and a headache, he is also developing a fever. Though it is initially thought that Leo might just be experiencing some type of common flu, Miriam watches helplessly as her husband gets even worse.
Oh, by the way, some of the side effects, I believe, is I heard shortness of breath,
stomach,
dizziness,
fever,
and essentially filling up your lungs with fluid, making it harder to breathe. And you can
trouble breathing. Yeah, I swear if there's any virus that makes my breathing it's extremely hard, yeah, gang, I'm just seeking emergency immediately, bro. I don't give a fuck whatever it is, bro. Even if it's not the Hantavirus, if I get sick and I can't breathe well, yeah, I'm just going to the doctors. I don't care if that's a Hanta or not a Hantavirus.
imagine that could be very painful, of course.
On the 5th day of battling his symptoms, Leo passes away.
At 70 years old.
The news is kept on the down low, as if not to frighten the other passengers and cause a panic.
Oh boy.
With coordination from the ship's staff, they plan to sneak Miriam and Leo off the ship when docking in St. Helena. This plan is ultimately successful, but as Miriam travels to the airport, she collapses in the terminal.
That is crazy.
Airline staff quickly run to check on her, but it's no use.
Like a scene straight out of the movie.
She died as well?
A really good movie. I think it's realistic in terms of theoretical potential variables of transmission with viruses or, you know, mutated viruses in the future coming from nature and or man-made. I never want to live in that, you know, reality where a virus that has a long enough incubation period to go untraced in a population to spread out, and then all of a sudden everybody's sick at the same time, and the infection period is longer than normal, but at the same time the mortality rate is like 20 to 30%. I mean, good God, that would just be a nightmare to live in.
The older you get as well, the mortality increases because your immune system becomes weaker. If you have a strong immune system, then sure, there might be 20% chance. It might get lower the stronger it is. But listen, if you're getting old as hell, I suggest don't catch that fucking virus for the love of God if you want to live for another year or two. Trust me.
It's like her husband has died.
Right.
And the cause of the couple's death is still aboard the MV Hondius, and they won't be the only victims.
This is creepy. Very spooky.
Yeah, so I think we expect that the cases are going to continue rising.
Just very non-specific symptoms, a lot of confusion and a lot of weakness, and she ultimately passed away relatively quickly.
And just to show you guys what I'm talking about, Patient Zero in deadly Hantavirus cruise ship outbreak was Dutch ornithologist, I think that's what you say it, Leo Schilperode. Same guy we saw before. And in this article it says the Ushia landfill is where Argentinian authorities suspect the Dutch couple inhaled particles from the feces of long-tailed pygmy rice rats, which carry the feared Andes strain of
rice
Hantavirus, the only form known to transmit from human to human. They said, and I quote, "It is common for bird watchers to visit landfills because there are many birds there." So yeah, I mean, good God, this is like the landfill, I guess, of where he visited. And it's just like, of course, there's going to be so many dirt molecules, I mean, particles and bacteria and viruses, especially coming from rodents in these types of areas. Here's another shot of the area of which she was in, photographing photos.
So you bitch started the virus technically. Nah, I actually put the blame on the old guy. He went to that place, got the virus, got on board, gave everyone the virus, and now we're in this situation because of this old bitch who wanted to take bird photos so bad in some disgusting area like this. On God, if I even see this area, I'm leaving. I'm already disgusting looking at it online, let alone going there. Yeah, why? Just why, man? RIP to you, obviously. RIP to the old man, no doubt. But like, you did this to yourself, gang, and you put others in danger. Like, come on.
Graphing birds. Here are examples of birds that would be in the area. Someone in the comments said, this is the top comment, by the way. They said, Lord mercy, people, if you're visiting a country and the locals tell you to avoid an area, maybe you should try listening to them.
True.
So apparently this guy was warned too to stay out of that area, right? The locals know exactly what they're doing, what they're talking about. And I guess, you know, listen, scientists or people with inquisitive minds and researchers, they are dangerous people because they don't listen. If there's something that they're obsessed with, despite the danger, they're going to head forward. They're going to march forward, even if there's a potential of dying.
Somewhere along the ship's journey, or perhaps prior to, Leo had contracted a fatal strain of Hantavirus, the same virus that took the life of Leo's wife and the other individual aboard the ship. But by the time this revelation could be made, it was already too late. Countless passengers and staff on the MV Hondius had been exposed to Leo. On top of that, some of them had even departed from the ship following its stop in St. Helena.
I want to say before we go any further, please stay the fuck out of landfills. There's no reason for why you should be in a landfill without a mask on. Maybe had they had masks on, or this guy had a mask on, he wouldn't have been infected, right?
Because or maybe you shouldn't even go there in the first place. How about that? Don't go there in the first place.
From particulates from rat feces, saliva, and or urine, of which rats are going to, pass on in landfills, obviously. Don't do this. It's not necessary.
That's how it started, man.
Themselves to individuals on the mainland. I think it's impossible to talk about this story without making some sort of mention regarding the events of 2020.
Okay.
There are some key differences, however, between the previous pandemic and Hantavirus.
Well, I don't want to, bring all those memories back. Of course, it's not the same thing. COVID and that whole era is a whole conspiracy in and of itself. Some people are trying to link conspiracies to this as well. Both people believe it's either man-made or a ploy to, lock everything down for evil, maniacal, governmental, ulterior motives. I'm not getting into that right now, but I will say everybody's entitled to their own opinions, and you can debate in the comment sections. Of course, I'm not going to ever restrict people's right to say what they want to say.
As it currently stands, there are more than 50 different types of hantaviruses.
Okay.
To keep things simple, I'm just going to be focusing on the specific type pertaining to this story.
What the fuck
that looks
is
like
this?
A foreign invader, like an actual alien. It's crazy
That's
how
what I said.
microlife, microbiology, I guess, looks so just alien.
This type is referred to as the Andes virus and originates from, you may have guessed it,
the Andes.
Argentina. The same exact place where the MV Hondius departed from in the beginning of April.
By the way, the Andes, I believe a mountain region, is somewhere over here in Argentina, as you can see on the left side, but they were in, I guess on the right side, maybe? It was some port.
With that information, medical
Well, the name already looks like this virus itself. The name is Hondius. Isn't that familiar? Ain't that a bit suspicious? Hondius, Hantavirus. You see what I'm going with that? Kind of weird. I'm just saying.
Investigators theorized that Leo had contracted the virus prior to boarding the ship. This would later be confirmed as the true nature of Leo's contraction of the virus came to light.
And again, stay out of landfills. There's no reason for why human beings, without safety, proper PPE, right? They call it protection and masks. If you're in a landfill, you're going to be around a lot of dust particulates, bacteria, viruses. Protect yourselves, because when you don't do that, look, the amount of damage you cause not only your own life, but to other people's lives. Like he's dead and now his wife is dead. It's crazy, man.
In late 2025, Leo and Miriam arrived in South America for a 5-month trip. During that time, They were scheduled to travel through Chile, Uruguay, and Argentina. The trip would begin without any issues. The couple had planned on studying nature throughout their travels, specifically bird watching, which was a big passion of theirs.
Of course, and that's why he went to the landfill, because there may have been some rare bird sightings that I suppose he couldn't get a better vantage point from anywhere else in the area, and traversing through trash and a dump was worth it for him, I suppose.
One of these studies brought them to a large landfill located just 4 miles outside the city of Ushuaia.
Oh my
When
God.
viewing photos, the landfill sticks out like a sore thumb among the rather scenic mountainous backdrop.
Now, this is the first time I'm actually seeing the landfill in this way. This is ridiculous to me. Now, it's worse than I actually thought, because this is an actual landfill. The previous photos, I guess, were misrepresenting this. This is actually disgusting. Genuinely disgusting.
How did you walk there as a tourist? Like, if I was a tourist and I came here, I would go back to my country, bro. I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm done early. I've early shift. I'm done with the travel, bro. This guy really walked there? Ugh, you disgusting. For some birds? Yeah, I hope you found the bird that you want, and I hope you meet that bird up there, gang. You started the virus. Like, at this point, I won't say that it's originated from Argentina. I would say that the Hantavirus all started from an old person who died. Rest in peace to him, but still, bro. Oh my days. I thought it started because the chef did something stupid. Turns out, no. He caused it. He's the first patient. Not the first patient. Patient 0. Fucking hell.
I know I keep repeating this, but there was no need for this, like, genuinely speaking.
But despite its looks, the landfill is apparently a pilgrimage point for bird watchers like Leo and Miriam, as it's home to a very rare species of bird.
Well, not anymore. That area is pretty much banned into perpetuity.
Locals in the area
yeah, that's for
refer to
only
the
Hanta
landfill
people, gang.
as a mountain of waste that should be avoided at all costs.
Why are there horses, like, in the landfill? That is crazy to me. What the fuck is going on here?
Despite this, Leo and Miriam decided to visit it anyway. As it turns out, the reason that the landfill is so dangerous is because it's home to the long-tailed...
I did not mean pygmy rice mat. I meant rat. Sorry.
Pygmy rice rats, whose fecal matter is known to carry the Andes strain Hantavirus.
I mean, look at it. It looks kind of cute. Look at his little feet, its little hands. I mean, it's just a pygmy...
Yeah, it's a cute animal, but when it produced a virus... That's not cute. That is not cute for sure.
Rice rat, like, that's like a word for little, right? Like pygmy, I guess, like a small, petite version of, animal species.
It's very widely accepted that Leo most likely contracted the virus while visiting the landfill.
Yeah.
The strange thing, however, is that up until this point, the virus was only thought to spread through waste, saliva, and blood. So, if Leo didn't make any direct contact with any of these factors, then how did he end up with a deadly strain of the virus?
That is a good question. And by the way, this is basically really confirmed patient 0 here, assuming we're not delving into any conspiracies here. I gotta say, I feel bad for him because as a fellow a scientific inquisitive mind myself, I understand the allure, the pull towards dangerous activities just to fuel your thirst and lust for knowledge. But at what cost, man? Sometimes you gotta actually check yourself and say it's not worth it.
Well, the theory is that the virus may spread through the air.
Yeah, that is...
According to this UK government website, the disease is believed to transfer by inhaling the aerosolized virus particles from something like dust.
Yeah, that's GG's, bro. Dust? Okay. Because, like, imagine you going to school or something, and then your friend has the Hantavirus, but you just breathe in the same air as he's breathing, or coughing. Yeah, that's GG's, bro. You're GG's.
Right. And assuming it's an industrial area and they're trying to actually maybe burn garbage or maybe incinerate it or whatever they're doing around there to exacerbate the particulates of that area, that could have been contributing factors.
Yes,
the Andes, isn't that part of the world very windy too? So wind may have been literally blowing in his face from the landfill as he was traversing the area to take photos of particular birds.
Obviously, given that the virus virus spreads through blood and saliva, you might assume that a vast majority
of
those
Hantavirus over
with
here,
the virus might have gotten bit by one of these rice rats.
No, they're not cute anymore. Those balls, why are they so big? What the fuck?
That's what I said. It doesn't happen very often. But when it comes to Leo's transmission of the virus to other passengers aboard the MV Hondius, excluding Miriam, the answer is not so simple. Because as of right now, we don't exactly know how human-to-human transmission occurs.
That's the scariest part of this entire thing to me. They don't know how it occurred. How did it occur, right? Typically it transfers or the...
So we know that you get the virus from dust. From any dust in the landfill, okay? How did it go human to human? They don't know. I assume that because he had the virus, if I just like go and handshake you, maybe the virus can jump from mine to yours, but you don't see it. That's my conspiracy. Or I just cough, and then like because I coughed, it's now all over the air and you're breathing. So that's my other conspiracy. I know. You tell me if that's what you guys think.
Transmission is from pygmy rice rat to human and ends there. Now they're saying this particular strain, one out of like dozens, is now being able to be transferred from human to human. And that is scary to me because there's no cure. As far as I know, latest updates say there's no cure. 40% mortality rate. What the I think it's higher than that too. Let's continue.
Given the tight quarters of the cruise ship, it's believed that close contact is required for someone to contract the virus. Right. Given these circumstances, airborne transmission is a likely and disturbing possibility.
They were also saying that this may have been transmitted via vents, ventilations, but they couldn't find any rat urine, saliva, and or carcasses within any vents. Based off of what I heard last time, there may have been more updates though.
The virus itself is characterized as a pulmonary syndrome, meaning that if you are unfortunate enough to contract it, your respiratory system will be the main target. Fluid buildup in the lungs and chest are typically what cause the affected person to succumb to the virus.
Probably something akin to drowning. Imagine drowning in your own lung fluid.
The mortality rate being between 35 and 50%.
Don't say that.
The range is even bigger than I thought. So, okay, 35 to 50% is insane. And of course, an older man like that, he was 72 years old. He was never making it. Imagine his wife was in her 60s. She wasn't making this. Somebody in their 20s catching this, they probably would be in the hospital fighting for their life even, you know?
But all of this information was still being discovered as the cruise ship continued its route towards the Netherlands. With the World Health Organization communicating with every harbor in the area, the ship's next stop, Cape Verde, barred the MV Hondius from docking.
Now, the WHO, holy shit, the people responsible for locking down the world during COVID, those guys, they're very trustworthy people, a very trustworthy group of government officials. Nothing suspicious or spooky about those people whatsoever.
Ship's next stop, Cape Verde, barred the MV Hondius from docking. This decision was made after health officials deemed Cape Verde unable to handle a medical emergency.
Yeah, it's a tiny island,
right? With nowhere to rest, the ship had no choice but to float just off the coast while trying to find a port that would take them in. It was around this time when the viral video from Jake was recorded. In the footage, Jake explains that he, as well as many others aboard the ship, feel helpless.
Look at this one comment. Someone says, it's a script. He constantly looked in other directions. Some people believe he's an actor. Some people believe this is a psyop. Some people believe...
now that's the problem with our society today. People think that everything is fake around them. This is fake, that's fake, this fake, that fake. Well, just believe something for once, okay? I understand that nowadays we just do some dumb shit for a script, but I think this is a script if he's crying like that.
This is a false flag. Of course, we are the most cynical, low trusting we've ever been, especially after the COVID era and everything that was revealed after that, in terms of its mortality rate being, you know, similar to that of a very strong flu, and just locking down the entire world because of that. You know, that basically permanently made the vast majority of people distrust the worldwide governments in general.
They have no choice but to stay in their rooms and maintain a healthy distance from one another. All the while, the cases of the virus numbers on the ship continue to grow. For many on board, it feels like the rest of the world has turned their backs and left those on the MV Hondius to die.
Also, the spooky thing about this, there's no cure, and its mortality rate is what, 30, 40x COVID? Like that right there in and of itself creeps the shit out of me. And I don't want to catch this. I don't think it'll be anything bigger than what we are already seeing in the news. Like, it's probably not going to reach epidemic levels or even pandemic levels. Anyway, here's an update from this.
Anyways, at least I can tell my kids that I've survived Corona, World War III, and the Hantavirus. Now, this is the best era, the best thing I could tell my child. No one can defeat that era, bro. If you guys are one of these people, if you survived all three, you're a man. That's it. You're officially tough. Tough, I'm saying, man. Doesn't want to.
It is my second day here at the National Quarantine Unit in Omaha, Nebraska, and I just wanted to give you a little tour of my room. We have a dresser and fridge, a smart TV. Here's my thermometer for temperature checks during the day.
So they made it
to
land, of course.
Spacious and comfortable. I can have stuff sent here for the duration of my stay.
People believe this guy's an actor, by the way.
Some things.
A lot of people don't trust this.
More at home and more comfortable.
Oh, that's a bit too nice.
And
a bit too comfortable.
To keep you all a little more updated throughout.
That's a bit too comfortable, you know.
This video was posted to Jake's official TikTok page. However, despite Jake appearing to be happy and relieved to be on his way back to normal, many users in the comments believe they have come across some potentially disturbing information. Many people believe that
some people are saying, I don't feel like suing him. Are they really interviewing this guy? It's a act for Disney cruise ship. He's an actor.
Being recorded by Jake are all fake. The story of the MV Hondius, the deaths of Leo and his wife, all a fabrication.
I'm going to blame world governments for constantly lying to the people. Now people can't tell the difference between fact and reality. This is what happens when you perpetuate garbage, bullshit propaganda, and you attempt false flag, psyop after psyop after psyop. The lines start to blur. This is essentially a very extreme and maniacal case of the boy who cried wolf way too many times. And now this may actually be a really serious problem, and people are just gonna shrug it off as if it's another psyop or another plan by the suits to lock everything down. Stop lying to the people, be honest, and have transparency. Likely, if that had been the standard from the beginning, people wouldn't be claiming everything is fake or psyop or diving into crazy dangerous conspiracy theories that may not even be true,
because back in 2020 at the height of the pandemic, Jake was recording videos that many believe someone was paying him to create.
That's crazy.
Listen, he could just be a crisis profiteer. This could just be real things that are actually happening. He's just hopping on the bandwagon. It happens all the time. Anyway, guys, what do you think about this? People are now saying basically, be cautious, don't panic yet. Another person said there was a Hantavirus scare in 1994 when I was in grade 7, but we never got locked
grade
down.
7.
Another person said Hantavirus has been around for a long time. Generally, Hantavirus is actually
Yo, what unk is watching your video? 1994 grade 7. Yo, this guy's in his 50s right now watching videos? Damn.
pretty rare. It is commonly contracted from breathing in the particles of rodent feces. Another person said, my entire family was about to go on this ship until our email info got wiped from the cruise's database. We were disappointed, but now we are happier than ever.
Thank
and another
God.
person said the bubonic plague started on a ship with rats, by the way.
Damn.
Yeah, the irony, huh? Anyway, man, this is crazy. And again, we'll see where this goes. Hopefully not, man. We have life to live. COVID took off, what, 4 to 5 years of our life with the paranoia and the lockdowns and all that, you know, the vaccines.
2 years, but yeah.
We do not need to go through that again. And this time, if it does happen again, I don't think a lot of people will even care or comply. Gonna be honest. Anyways, on to the next video.
Thanks for the video, I guess, and thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure you guys like and sub. I love you all so much and have a blessing day. See you guys at the next one, and peace.